This is my child. A father who had been missing for 4 years saw his child at the airport. The boy ran toward him. Dad! He held him tight. Then a woman's voice cut through the air. This is my child. At the same moment, his real son stood a few steps behind, silent. The airport was crowded. It was the day soldiers were returning home. Mark Wilson was coming back after 4 long years. He had been at war. For a long time, there had been no contact. According to official documents, Mark had 1 son. That child was 6-year-old Tim. Tim was being raised by his biological mother. Her husband had died before Tim was born. And then, one mistake at the maternity ward changed everything. On Tim's birth certificate, Mark Wilson's name was written as the father. At that time, Mark was already deployed. Later, he was listed among the missing in action. There was no way to correct the documents, so the woman raised her son believing the papers. She showed Tim Mark's photograph and told him, "This is your father." One day, an official notice arrived. Mark was alive. He was coming home. She took Tim to the airport. She told him with certainty, "Your father is coming." Tim had never seen his father in real life, but he had grown up knowing his face from pictures. So when he saw Mark, he ran without thinking. "Dad!" Mark did not question it. The documents had always told him the same thing. He hugged the child. But in that moment, the woman's heart could no longer bear it. "Tim! Tim! Come here!" She gently pulled the boy back. "Who are you?" she asked. Mark answered, confused. "He is my son." Her voice was firm. "No, this is my child." The noise of the airport seemed to disappear. That was when Mark turned around. Another boy stood behind him. He did not run. He did not cry. Beside him stood Mark's late wife's sister. His wife had died years earlier. They had raised the child without Mark, believing he would never return. No one knew the father was still alive. She leaned down and whispered to the boy, "That is your father." The boy spoke quietly, "Dad." In that moment, Mark understood everything. Investigations followed. 6 years earlier, the documents of 2 children had been switched at the hospital. One mistake. 1 second. For 4 years, Mark had believed another man's child was his own, and his real son had grown up without ever seeing his father. DNA tests confirmed the truth. The court ruled it a medical error. That evening, Mark sat beside his real son. "I came late," he said. The boy shook his head gently. "No, you came today." Nearby, Tim sat quietly, his leg in a cast. Mark's heart could not take it. He took his son and walked over to Tim. From that day on, they stayed in touch. They met. They grew closer. Over time, a quiet, unexpected bond formed between Mark and Tim's mother. A year later, they married. The 2 boys grew up together. One home, one father, one mother. Brothers. There were no villains in this story. Only one mistake on a piece of paper that changed 2 lives. Sometimes a person returns to the right place, but has to begin the right life all over again.